So if in the bathroom, in your pantry, in a closet, especially into the bathtub, any place where you're not on the exterior side of your house is the place to go if you are currently in this confirmed tornado warning right now. Again, this is moving into a very populated area, and we do still have the confirmed tornado warning right now. It does look like it's just starting to move into South Jackson right now. We can turn back on the velocity. Again, still not seeing anything that sticks out necessarily, but the broad rotation is still there across the area, so we can turn on that shear. Again, it does look like it would be in this area right here. So from Dixon, Van Winkle, definitely seeing some broad rotation across this area. If you are on Jackson State University's campus, JSU, and you are not in your safe place, you certainly should be getting there right now. Let's circle this just so we can see when we turn on other products. So this would be close to the area where we're seeing some rotation across the region. Oh. Yeah, and that's exactly where we're seeing a bit of that broad rotation right there. So just starting to move into Jackson right now along Highway 80. So the Jackson Zoo. Oh, let's turn off the marker. Oh, zoom back out. So this is going to be the area that we're seeing a bit of that broad rotation across the region. Again, we do have that confirmed tornado warning across the area right now. And this does include the immediate South Jackson area too. So we can turn back on that reflectivity. Okay, so now with the latest scan, it does look like this is moving right across the Jackson State campus right now. Northwest Hills, the Fondren area.
We are pretty low to some kind of spin in here. I will say this, there have been these quick spin ups in the line that have been moving through, especially one was over Raymond a little while ago, but it's just a lot harder now to make out. So I think what's happening is a lot of this is being overcome maybe by the rain. It's kind of making it more, not to use a technical term, but maybe a little more diffuse. It's kind of causing it to fan out a little bit more. But the bottom line is this is where we still have the tornado warning in effect for Western Rankin and Eastern Hinds counties. This is not so unexpected to see this type of weather. This is a surge of thunderstorms. It's a mini complex of storms. The main event is still expected tomorrow morning, well after sunrise, probably towards the end of the morning commute is when we're expecting more of that weather to move on through. I am seeing looks like we've got an update here, Chase, to share with the folks on the status of that warning.
Yes, the most recent update, it says the tornado threat has diminished in the warning, which we were just talking about, how they were waiting a couple more scans just to make sure that we were going to be into the all clear, that no surprises popped up in regards to this tornado warning. But still, large hail and damaging winds are going to remain likely regardless of that tornado warning being let go. So we're going to be still tracking out all of these storms because large hail, and I definitely think the wind factor was the big contributing factor into really overcoming the tornado, because I think the winds really took over, and we're going to be seeing wind gusts up to 60, 70 miles an hour associated with these storms. So something that you do have to watch out for regardless of if there's a tornado warning or not.
If you can, put me back over to the main radar scan and let me at least walk you through it here, folks, in central Mississippi before I let you go, just to show you what's going on. We have a line of storms right now along Interstate 55. This stretches all the way from, let's say, Goodman and Durant, right down to Canton, over through central Madison County, and then it continues into Copiah County. This line of storms will continue moving eastward during the next half hour or so. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Hinds County. There are no warnings currently in effect for Rankin County. Madison County, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning as well as these storms race eastward. Large hail and damaging wind will be the primary concerns as we go through the coming minutes. We're going to continue to monitor this situation for you. Wednesday is a first alert weather day, so we are expecting more extensive severe weather during the morning time and early afternoon. But you can see we're now down to zero visibility, lots of winds, damaging winds at that have been reported across the area. We're coming up at 9 o'clock right now on WLBT and as well as on WDBD. A new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Leake and Madison County until 10 o'clock. So damaging winds and hail are likely from these storms as they cross through the metro during the next half hour or so, but we are expecting them to weaken generally over the next half hour to 45 minutes. If there are additional tornado warnings, we will be back on the air right away to give you the first alert on that. Until then, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Roberts, along with meteorologist Chase Franks. First Alert Weather. We now return you to regularly scheduled programming.
This has been a First Alert Weather Update. We now return you to our regularly scheduled programming.
Radar indicated. I'm going to show you a couple other scans here on the radar. So for those of you that are not necessarily in this warning, or maybe you are in the warning, this at least will point out to you where the storms are coming from. And there's a lot of activity basically spawning out of a line of storms that's surging across the Vicksburg area right now. This just came out of Vicksburg a short time ago, but this line of storms is now pushing a little bit more eagerly into parts of Hinds County. And as you can see here, this is the new couplet that is just outside Raymond. I'm going to go closer in, and this is again very close to what's called Oakley, which is in the extreme western part of Hinds County. It's getting closer to Raymond, and then I'll stop it here real close for you so you can get an idea. And this is where that storm is currently located. I'll storm track them out for you too. Again, this is the latest radar scan, and this will give you the best idea as to what's happening with this line of storms. They are moving east at about 40 miles per hour right now. So if that's the case, and we track them out for about the next hour or so, this will give you an idea as to when to expect it. So we think that this storm is going to be in the Clinton area. I'm going to say within the next 6 minutes or so. Jackson about 8:50, 8:45. Canton, it would be about 8:51. And Brandon, this will be 9:03. And then over to about Pelahatchie at 9:16. Again, this line of storms is advancing now out of Warren County, and there have been reports of damage coming out of Warren County. We have some home damage. We have a lot of trees down, and that's causing a lot of problems. So this just shows you on the map the arrival times of those storms as they're moving in from the west. Now, let's see if we can identify where this particular couplet is. It showed up pretty good there on regular imagery, but this is what I'm watching when you start looking, and it's a little harder to make out here. This is the city of Raymond sitting on the right side of your screen. I'm looking towards the west here, and that's where we were looking at some of this development a little while ago, but it's a little bit harder to make out at this point in time. The other thing that's going on too is we're also watching what's happening here with this particular cell that's sitting in the center of your screen. Let me go a little bit farther out, and this will show you where we currently have warnings in effect. So first, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Madison County and northern Hinds County. That's what's in the orange shaded box here, and that includes the city of Madison and Ridgeland, where wind damage is possible. Flora, you're included, Bentonia as well, and wind damage is likely in this particular storm cell. I'm also getting right now widespread reports of trees down in and around Vicksburg. That seems to be the common theme here that's coming in as well. Then we'll get into this tornado warning, and in the red shaded box here, this is where we are most concerned right now, because that couplet that's located generally north of Learned and west of Raymond is moving off to the east, and these are the cities that are in the path of this storm cell. So again, this is why we are alerting you this evening as to what's going on with this particular line of storms. Again, this is so far, nobody has spotted a tornado, but we have what I would call significant damage coming in from Warren County at this point, especially around Eagle Lake. That's where it seems like the worst of the damage has been reported. Tornado warning currently in effect. You could see it there. This goes until 9:30 for parts of Metro Jackson. And this is another way to look at it here to show you where the other severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect. So we've got the parent thunderstorms, which are now on the western fringe here. I'll step back into the screen so you can see it. They're on the western fringe here, coming across to areas like Flora and Madison and Ridgeland. That's where you're going to have severe thunderstorms with damaging wind potential. But in the red box, Raymond, really the southern edge of Clinton, most of the city of Jackson, and parts of Pearl as well as Flowood, we have a tornado warning in effect, and that goes until 9:30. Surrounding that, a severe thunderstorm warning, because again, these thunderstorms are moving in. There is a severe thunderstorm watch currently in effect for the area. That goes till 9 o'clock. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of rework that just a little bit as well. I've got debris tracker on just to see if we're getting any reports of it. So far, we're looking good there. Not much showing up on debris tracker. When I look at regular radar here, this is really the most concerning thing about it. We've got this line of storms that's advancing in right now. And I'll zoom in a little bit better for you on this one so you can kind of see where this line of storms is located. And when I put it into motion, you'll see that it is moving from west to east. It's a little thinner than it was, say, about 20 minutes ago. But then every once in a while, when I look at this line of storms, I see things like this. In the southwestern part of Madison County, you're seeing the purples. You're seeing that pop up. That's concerning me. Then I'm looking at this cell here, and this is getting closer to Clinton. When you start seeing that starting to spin, that's another thing we have to watch. And that's the couplet that is producing the potential tornado right now across the area. So this line of storms is definitely moving in from the west right now. I've pointed out the two areas that I'm most concerned about. And again, they are headed for the city of Jackson. They're headed for Clinton. They're headed for parts of southern Madison County. But these two areas that I just mentioned, this here, the one that's entering the western part of Madison County, this has a history of producing wind damage farther back near Eagle Lake. And this is headed for Flora. And then this one little outcropping right there, you can kind of see it. We'll go closer in on radar now, and you get a better idea as to what I'm looking at. This is another area of concern, and that's where we think the tornado is located. So getting closer in here to the city of Jackson, that couplet is very close to Raymond. If you're in Raymond, if you live on the south end of Clinton, you live in South Jackson or Jackson itself, right now is the time to prepare. Okay, go to the lowest floor of your home, get away from windows in case there is flying debris. We are getting indications of at least a 55, 56 mile per hour wind gusts that have been measured with this line of storms. So it's a dangerous situation. I showed you debris tracker. There's not much that we're noticing on that for the time being, but the wind is extensive with this line of storms. Wind damage is likely here over the next hour as it starts to enter the city of Jackson. Clinton, the storm will be on you in the next 5 minutes, and we're going to be looking at the storm getting into the city of Jackson probably in the next 20 or 30 minutes. Okay, we are now modifying this tornado warning. Just give me a second here and I will get this for you. Getting new information. Okay, we now have a confirmed tornado near Raymond. Radar is confirming the tornado now near the city of Raymond, and this is moving from west to east along Highway 18 towards Jackson. So we are now confirming a tornado that is located in this area. Raymond, take this extremely seriously at this point because the storm is now on you. We're going to go stop radar here real quick for you so we can do live scanning on it. You can see what's going on with it. Again, Port Gibson Street in Raymond, in the path of this tornado. Downtown Raymond is in the path of this confirmed tornado. So we now have an upgrade. We are confirming a tornado that is just on the outskirts of Raymond and about to move over downtown within the next 5 minutes. I've got Street Tracker on here for you. We're going to scan this storm in a variety of different ways so you get the latest information you need to know. But if you live in Raymond, take cover now immediately. Okay, take cover immediately on this storm as it's moving in from the west. Also indicating a large hail possible in this cell as well. I'll put on hail scan here so you can get an idea as to what I'm looking at. And again, a tornado warning remaining in effect for Raymond and city of Jackson and much of Hinds County right now. Bolton, look at that intense cell that is over you currently. This is moving from west to east right now towards the city of Clinton. Okay, this is getting to be a serious situation, folks. So we're upping the ante here a little bit. And that's why I want you to really take this seriously, because we are not just getting indications of a now confirmed tornado, but also damaging wind even outside of this tornado as it's moving east. We'll do a couple things here for you. We're going to plot it real quick so you can get an idea as to prepare for it. This is where the storm is currently. I'll plot it into Rankin County for you. This is for the next 30 minutes or so. This is where you need to be on guard. Clinton, 8:39, that's 3 minutes. South Jackson, about 8:49. Pearl, 8:55. And then Dogwood, closer to 9. I'm going to tell you the way this storm is moving eastward. Let's take 10 minutes off of those times if possible in your area. But we have a confirmed tornado right now that is over downtown Raymond, very close to the campus there. It is moving off to the east. We'll go back to street level. And so you can see on the street level what we're seeing. First off, I'll show you regional in case you're not in the tornado warning, but you are obviously concerned about where these storms are going. These storms are going to encompass all of central Mississippi here during the coming minutes. Over the next half hour or so, you could see whether you're in Canton, Madison, Jackson, Byram, Crystal Springs, you're going to have some rough weather. And that will move into Rankin County as well in the next few minutes. This is a close-up on the storm. We'll look at the base level here. This is what we're calling the wind. And looking at that couplet, it is at this moment, you can make it out. There is a couplet right there over downtown Raymond. This is moving east along Highway 18. In that white box is where we have the tornado warning currently in effect. So if you're in that, this just maps it out. Again, this is in effect for much of the city of Jackson. This is in effect for western Rankin County, a confirmed tornado currently moving from west to east across the area. Please be on alert now if you are in the city of Clinton, if you're in the city of Jackson as well. A Norrell Road, we have a live look right now. This is the weather that is just going downhill. Now, just to give you an idea where that is, that's on the west side of Clinton. We'll go closer in on the radar so you can see it. But bottom line is, this is right now, we're getting some of the worst weather in this particular area. And I've got it here just so you can see it on the radar screen at the same time. But that's where the heavy weather is currently located on this storm. So back to our regular scan, and you can see at this point, go back to there. That's where we were just looking live, and that cell is moving east. I would tell you, I really want you to take this seriously, especially if you're in Clinton right now, not just from a tornadic perspective, but also damaging wind likely with this storm. I literally am going to sit on this. We're going to go switch cams here back and forth and show you the weather that's going on. If we get a chance, I know I've got Hank with me in the back and the rest of the crew, pop up our tower cam from time to time. I'm willing to bet you there's probably a lot of lightning on that as well. This is I-20 east of Norrell Road. This is looking over the downtown area. Storms are starting to advance in from the west. So we're going to continue to see an uptick in lightning activity as the storms continue moving in from the west. But right now, Jackson, we've got about 10 or 15 minutes to go. At this point, thunderstorm wind gusts are being indicated up to 60 miles per hour. The hail has now increased in size. And I'm going to give you a perspective on the hail size for you. Just stand by a second for me, if you will. It's a TV terminology we use here. And if we take a look at the hail scan, I've got it up on the screen here just to give you an idea. That's some large hail. Right there, we've got some large hail that is starting to form between Raymond and Bolton. And that's going to be moving east towards Clinton. So large hail now, it looks like it's pushing a quarter-size hail. We're getting an inch of rain per 30 minutes, it seems. Also, look at the large hail that's now entering western Madison County. This is getting up to the extent of ping pong size hail. This is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for western Madison County, Flora, Livingston, Madison, and Ridgeland. That is large hail, quarter to ping pong size hail that is moving in from west to east right now. So you can see we've got this is our hail tracker, and then I've got in the orange boxes severe thunderstorm warnings, and that makes sense. So Lake Caroline, Flora, over through about the Nissan plant, that is large hail. Just to give you an idea, and it's updating quickly here, which is telling me this is really large hail, moving northeast at around 40 miles per hour. So from Madison, Gluckstadt, to the Nissan plant in Canton, over back through Flora, Lake Caroline and Annandale, large hail looking likely in the next 20 minutes. Again, another live look from our MDOT cam This is indicating right now where we're getting some of the worst weather. I'm going to save this image so we can refer back to it as we need. But the bottom line is this is a very serious storm, and it is right now over Raymond, moving off to the east. And as you continue to see, there's a lot of activity with this particular storm in the sense that we have a lot of wind and we have some large hail. All right. Okay, we are getting hail, confirmed hail in Flora, which makes sense. That verifies on the radar what we're seeing. Also, this here on I-20, this is a dangerous situation right here. Let me explain to you. We're pushing the upper end of the scale, which is telling me two things. Either the rain really is that heavy, or what we're seeing is we're actually seeing hail getting mixed into the storm. This is the St. Thomas Parkway. Where that intersection is on the west side of Clinton there, that's where we're now starting to see the most intense part of the cell. And it shifted. Look how quickly it just moved on us and now advancing into the city of Clinton. Again, putting you on alert in Clinton, not just this potential tornadic situation on the south end of town, but also large hail and damaging wind are looking more and more likely. I'm repositioning the radar here. So for you folks, while I'm talking, you can watch the radar update with me. Places like Pocahontas are in the path of this storm. Clinton in the path of the storm. Really from the city of Clinton north and eastward right now into Madison County, this is a hail maker and damaging wind. For Hinds County, it's damaging wind, and we've got the tornadic threat as well. Several trees down right now in the Redwood and Oak Ridge communities coming in from Warren County. So we're getting a lot of that as well. And again, this is an I-20 view for you right now of some pretty intense weather that is right now starting to develop as it moves from west to east across the county. A lot of purple on this radar screen. Let me step in front of it just to give you an idea and guide you through it here. So there's really two parts to this storm. First, we've got this area here, which is indicating heavy rain and large hail. That's the only way we're going to get reflectivity at the upper end of the scale. It is raining very hard. Don't get me wrong. It's raining an inch per 30 minutes in here. Flash flooding, that risk is starting to increase as well. But the other thing that's happening is we're getting large hail. I've been showing you that on the screen. That's going to be a problem for many areas. So take that seriously from Clinton, northward, Pocahontas, Madison, Ridgeland, up through the Nissan plant and back across Lake Caroline. That will continue to be the big issue. We're getting that hail, as I mentioned to you, in Flora. For the city of Jackson, over through Clinton, south and westward, back through Raymond, it's a tornadic threat at this point in time from these storms. And at this point, I'm seeing some of the reports of the hail. They look pretty large on the radar as you've been looking at them as I have. So I'm going to show you two things here. Let me just let the computer catch up on the screen. And you'll see that the hail is still being produced right now over Flora, and that's some large hail. The green on the screen, let me go in front of the screen one more time, show you this. This is going to be quarter to ping pong size hail right here, Highway 22, where it meets up with 49. If you just extrapolate this, it's moving eastward towards Lake Caroline, Annandale, and the Nissan plant. I'm going to tell you this, if you're not in the weather yet and you got a couple minutes to put the car in the carport, I would definitely advise that. Let's go farther south. We'll take you where the actual tornado warning is right now. And it's shrinking it back a little bit, and that's good news. This is where the tornado warning is. From Seven Springs over through the south end of Pearl, this is where we currently have the tornado warning in effect. And that includes the city of Jackson, Flowood, and Pearl are included in this. Just getting additional information. Just give me a second here to read while I'm talking at the same time. Again, the reports that continue to come out of Warren County indicating some of the worst weather there that's gone through, with a lot of damage to houses, a lot of trees down, power outages as well. Sirens are sounding parts of Rankin County right now. That's appropriate when you have a tornado warning in effect. So we're getting the reports coming in. I'm just seeing all these different things. I'm also checking our social media. I'm checking our Facebook to see if any of you are reporting in with any damage right now. Got some reports of nickel-size hail in Pocahontas by the rest stop. That makes sense. And I'm getting a little more concerned about this hail threat that's now getting a little bit more sophisticated, it seems, in the western part of Hinds County. That's where the hail is now starting to move in towards Clinton. So that's lining up. I was telling you just a moment ago, I said I saw a lot of purple on the screen. And when you see that purple, that again, yes, of course, it's raining quite hard, but when you see that, that's really pushing it up. By the way, Raymond, you are no longer under a tornado warning. So no longer a tornado warning for Raymond, but if you still have a Clinton address, especially on the south or east side of town, you're under a tornado warning, but downtown Clinton is no longer under a tornado warning at this very moment. Getting reports of large hail right now. Yazoo County, it's coming in as well. So we have a lot of folks that are being impacted by this storm system. In fact, just to give you a little perspective, we'll go out and take a look here at the tornado warning itself. And when we look at it, I'm going to put a scan on it real quick just to show you. This area here has 214,000 people that are being impacted by this tornado warning at this point in time. So that's just to give you an idea as to how many people are being impacted by this tornado warning. Right now, over 200,000 people are in the path of this tornado. We're going to have you go grab a mic and IFB will get you going here. So you can see that pea-size hail being reported on Wells Road in Raymond as well. So Wells Road in Raymond as well. Continuing to monitor a tornado warning now in effect. This is a confirmed tornado moving through Hinds County, headed towards the city of Jackson. It is just east of Raymond, continuing to move east towards the city of Jackson. And we do expect this tornado to pass over Jackson within about the next 15 minutes or so, and then move into Rankin County sometime by about 9 o'clock or just a little bit thereafter. So we think over the city of Jackson in the next 10 or 15 minutes, and then Rankin County, it will happen over the next 20 or 30 minutes or so. A tornado warning is currently in effect. This was a confirmed tornado a short time ago. There is now getting quarter-size hail. Got a quarter-size hail report coming in from Pocahontas. So that's the other component really of this storm cell, is that we're seeing large hail with it. I'll go back to the hail scan on it so you can see exactly where that hail is falling. And the hail is coming down at a pretty good clip here. This is around Flora, and we're now starting to see even larger hail. Looks like we're approaching tennis ball size hail, so that's never good. This is very close to the vicinity of sorry, I got to turn my head to twist here at times. Kearney Park Road. Also, pea-size hail coming in from Clinton at this point. So, again, a lot of things happening here. But around First Street, that's close to tennis ball size hail currently coming in from the Flora area. And, again, this storm is moving east. It's going to basically go right up Highway 22. So if you live anywhere along Highway 22, headed towards the city of Canton, yes, tornado, severe thunderstorm warning with large hail, looking like a pretty good bet for you. And then right here in the metro area, as I zoom in on this tornado warning, this is where we are most concerned with not just large hail and damaging wind, but a tornado as well. So we'll continue monitoring that. Meteorologist Chase Franks is joining me for coverage here as well. We're getting some reports now of 1-inch diameter hail, a 1-inch diameter hail, which is showing up in parts of the Pocahontas area. So again, this is a hailstorm, it's a windstorm, and one that's potentially producing a tornado. So really hitting a trifecta here, if you will, with all kinds of weather. So we're getting a bunch of things coming in here. A bunch of new watches and warnings. I'm going to try to review them as quick as I can. Had the reports of the sirens in western Rankin County. We're just waiting to get more information. Warren County, talking to John Elfer here, multiple trees and power outages being reported as well. So give me 1 second here as we get new information here. Okay, we now have the severe thunderstorm watch being extended for parts of the area. So that's something to note. We also have pea-size hail coming in from the city of Clinton. So the severe thunderstorm watch has been extended now. The severe thunderstorm watch has been extended until midnight tonight for parts of central Mississippi. That includes Metro Jackson. So severe thunderstorm watch in effect. Just letting you know about that as the weather is continuing to worsen across the area. Meteorologist Chase Franks is here. I'm not sure if you're here to start your day early or to keep your day going late. What are you observing so far in this storm? I know you've been looking at it behind the scenes here.
I have been looking at it behind the scenes, and we have been tracking it for quite some time. That I've noticed. I definitely got awoken to the sounds of sirens and also to the alerts that you get on your phones, the national alerts that we do, that the National Weather Service does send out of the confirmed tornado warning for our area. And so we will be tracking that through the rest of the night. The storm has looked impressive in the past. Thankfully, it seems to be weakening. I did have reports earlier that there was a very clear signature in velocity, very clear signature in debris. But there still hasn't been a confirmation yet that I'm aware of. So unless there's new details that have come out, that's something that we're still going to be watching out for.
Absolutely. Let's go over to, we're on it right now. Let's go to radar. I want to step back in front of the radar real quick, just to give folks an idea and give you a broad brush here as to what you can expect in the next 20 minutes. The Nissan plant is right here in Canton. Then we've got Lake Caroline, Annandale. All right. Then you've got the city of Madison, Ridgeland, and Jackson that are in front of this line. One of the things that's standing out to me, I'm seeing a lot of purple here in this line of storms. That is on the upper end of the scale. We know it's heavy, but let me explain something to you. You don't see that unless you've got two things, or one of two things, or maybe both, but two things going on. Extreme heavy rain, which we know there's at least an inch falling every 30 minutes in this system, or large hail. We know there's large hail because we're continuing to get these reports in, not just on radar, but we're seeing the large hail showing up from folks that are in our viewing area that are reporting them as well. So I want to alert you, if you're in advance of the storms, don't do this now while the storm is coming in, but if you're out here and you've got a carport, maybe a garage that you can put the car into, you got a few minutes, try to do it. Don't put yourself in harm's way to do it, but at least give yourself that option if you've got a few minutes, because this hail seems to be increasing in size. It's not decreasing in size. It's been increasing in size. The tornadic threat is still one to be reckoned with, but it's been more indicated on radar. We have yet to have one person say they've seen the tornado, but this is going to be hard to see. Why? It's night. The other thing, too, you got to keep in mind is this is probably rain wrapped, where the storm is hard to make out in the rain, but now it's about to enter West Jackson. And if I can get you to hit the hail scan real quick on that, Chase, and you can see that this is where we have large hail, where it's been approaching tennis ball size hail. It's moving eastward right now. We'll go a little bit farther south. If you clear, there we go, clear those things out. And we still have large hail falling over Clinton. And that's where it's more along the lines of quarter size hail at this point in time. So you could see that the storms are moving from west to east right now across the area. Large hail continuing to fall near Flora and over to about Clinton. That is quarter size hail, all right? But at times we've been seeing it get a little bit more serious than that. And then if we go back to where the warnings are, just to update you on where we have warnings, 8:53 this evening, so you can get an idea as to the perspective on this. We have the storms about to move into the western part of Jackson here, the city of Jackson, literally in the next 10 minutes or so. But you're getting hail over Clinton. You're getting hail over Flora as well. So this weather is continuing to kind of impinge on the central Mississippi area. The other detail that's been thrown at us here is we now have a severe thunderstorm watch that will go until midnight tonight. Severe thunderstorms are potentially going to be with us for at least the next couple of hours, especially from the metro eastward. If you live west of the metro Jackson area, I don't think you're going to see much weather going forward, but this is the latest radar scan here. And this is just a nasty looking storm from Canton on south right into Jackson. That's where the tornado warnings are currently indicated. This is the tornado warning from Forest Hill eastward through Jackson, South Jackson, Flowood, Pearl to about the airport. And that's where you get into the western part of Brandon on the other side of the airport here. But this is the area that we're watching right now. Severe thunderstorm had a confirmed tornado with it just a few minutes ago on radar, continuing to move eastward right now. And again, a little bit harder to make out where this tornadic cell may be, but we're going to back out just a little bit here on the radar so you get a little perspective on it. And this will show you in that red box. Now, why do you have an orange? We got a really hot orange box. And I know this is playing maybe with your eyes a little bit. That hot orange box indicates a severe thunderstorm warning, but a tornado is possible. Here is where we have a tornado warning, where a tornado is indicated by radar that is moving off to the east, and that's confirmed. This orange box indicates a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's where we have large hail and damaging wind extending in this area, moving from west to east. Again, I'm covering this with you. Meteorologist Chase Franks joins me for our coverage as well in the Weather Center. And Chase, what are you seeing right now as you look at the storms? And are you seeing anything new in the chat?
Yeah, we actually just have a brand new update in regards to what we're tracking now. In regards to this tornado warning, it actually has been updated. It's been trimmed down a little bit, shifted a little bit further to the east. And you can see that on our radar as it's gone a little bit more closer to the Jackson Metro as it gets faster and faster. It's moving east at 35 miles an hour. This is the most updated information in regards to that. We have reports of trees down at Old Port Gibson Road near Highway 27 in the Utica area. There's still a very broad area of rotation in regards to the system. The National Weather Service is still tracking it very closely, still keeping a very close eye, waiting on a couple more scans to come into the area just to make sure no surprises pop up into this storm. Thankfully, it has weakened out quite a lot, so it seems to be all but dissipated. But we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this, and they do expect to really just let it go until about that 9:30 scan. But we're going to be keeping a close eye on that throughout the rest of the day today.
Yeah, so one of the things that we'll be watching for you over the next few minutes here, we got a couple components to the storm system. One thing is it's slowing down a little bit. It was going about 45 miles per hour about an hour ago when I first popped on the air to tell you about the initial tornado warning. Now we're going about 35 miles per hour. So the storm is starting to lose a little bit of its oomph as it moves eastward. The other thing, too, is when you look at the northern part of the storm, we're seeing lots of purple. And that purple is indicating large hail or damaging wind. This is a live look right now. We're looking at one of our MDOT cams. This is I-20, 220. And yeah, 220 and Industrial Road at Industrial Drive, and that's where we're getting a very intense rain that is currently pounding on the screen there. Another view, if we can, over downtown Jackson. I know we've got our tower cam, if you can pull that up. This is showing you the storm that's literally now advancing over the city. It is over the western part of Jackson by Hawkins Field currently, and this storm is continuing to move over Central and South Jackson. If you live in the Eastover area, you're under a tornado warning right now. If you're in downtown Jackson, it's a tornado warning. South Jackson over by Metro Center, Forest Hill, and you can see rain is now starting to fall out there across the area. This red box is the one that we are watching, which includes the city of Pearl. It includes Flowood, as well as the city of Jackson, where a tornado warning remains in effect until 9:30 this evening. Western Rankin County is under a tornado warning until 9:30. We have not gotten, and Chase, please correct me if I'm wrong here, we haven't got an update on where this potential tornado may be. Maybe we hit the wind scan real quick, if you don't mind, base velocity, if you would, and just to kind of see, because maybe we can make it out, but it seems like it's a little bit less of an issue on the latest scan here. So we'll go out a little bit and come back in and just try to see it. And, you know, it just seems a little bit harder to make out at this point. We are pretty low to the ground here in this scan, but we'd want to make out some kind of spin in here. I will say this, there have been these quick spin ups in the line that have been moving through, especially one was over Raymond a little while ago, but it's just a lot harder now to make out. So I think what's happening is a lot of this is being overcome maybe by the rain. It's kind of making it more, not to use a technical term, but maybe a little more diffuse. It's kind of causing it to fan out a little bit more. But the bottom line is this is where we still have the tornado warning in effect for Western Rankin and Eastern Hinds counties. This is not so unexpected to see this type of weather. This is a surge of thunderstorms. It's a mini complex of storms. The main event is still expected tomorrow morning, well after sunrise, probably towards the end of the morning commute is when we're expecting more of that weather to move on through. I am seeing looks like we've got an update here, Chase, to share with the folks on the status of that warning.
Yes, the most recent update, it says the tornado threat has diminished in the warning, which we were just talking about how they were waiting a couple more scans just to make sure that we were going to be into the all clear, that no surprises popped up in regards to this tornado warning. But still, large hail and damaging winds are going to remain likely regardless of that tornado warning being let go. So we're going to be still tracking out all of these storms because large hail, and I definitely think the wind factor was the big contributing factor into really overcoming the tornado, because I think the winds really took over, and we're going to be seeing wind gusts up to 60, 70 miles an hour associated with these storms. So it's something that you do have to watch out for regardless of if there's a tornado warning or not.
If you can, put me back over to the main radar scan and let me at least walk you through it here, folks, in central Mississippi before I let you go, just to show you what's going on. We have a line of storms right now along Interstate 55. This stretches all the way from, let's say, Goodman and Durant, right down to Canton, over through central Madison County, and then it continues into Copiah County. This line of storms will continue moving eastward during the next half hour or so. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Hinds County. There are no warnings currently in effect for Rankin County. Madison County, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning as well as these storms race eastward. Large hail and damaging wind will be the primary concerns as we go through the coming minutes. We're going to continue to monitor this situation for you. Wednesday is a first alert weather day, so we are expecting more extensive severe weather during the morning time and early afternoon. But you can see we're now down to zero visibility, lots of winds, damaging winds at that have been reported across the area. We're coming up at 9 o'clock right now on WLBT and as well as on WDBD, a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Leake and Madison County until 10 o'clock. So damaging winds and hail are likely from these storms as they cross through the metro during the next half hour or so, but we are expecting them to weaken generally over the next half hour to 45 minutes. If there are additional tornado warnings, we will be back on the air right away to give you the first alert on that. Until then, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Roberts, along with meteorologist Chase Franks. First Alert Weather. We now return you to regularly scheduled programming.
This has been a First Alert weather update. We now return you to our regularly scheduled programming.
All right, everybody. So stay tuned. It's going to be a long night. I'll chime back in if something else happens and keep you updated.